Hello, good evening. Welcome to television main news. My name is Jeffrey Yambo. The top stories in the news tonight: KULIMA Tower bus drivers to maintain old bus fares amidst price increase. ZCTU urges employers to expedite the bargaining process. YANGO drivers protest over poor conditions of service. In international news, AU concerned with events in Senegal and wants elections held. And in sports news, FAS appoints DERRICK KAFULI as acting referees manager. These are more stories coming up shortly after this short break.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
And now Camnet television main news in detail. The Zambia police officers Monday afternoon fought running battles with YANGO drivers protesting poor conditions of service in light of the fuel increase. The aggrieved YANGO drivers, in many of such protests, blocked the road at Mandahill Flyover Bridge, demanding the attention of Minister of Transport and Logistics Frank Tayali. One of the aggrieved drivers, Yotam Chilofia, says despite the increase of fuel to 34 kwacha, the company is still charging as low as 20 kwacha for the shortest route, which is insufficient to meet his needs. Mr. Chilofia says efforts to engage Mr. Tayali have yielded nothing, as he has paid a blind eye to their challenge. More in the following report.
YANGO drivers' protest Monday almost turned deadly as the police had to call in enforcement to handle the aggrieved drivers. The protesting drivers brought traffic to a standstill at Mandahill Flyover Bridge at around 13 hours. In as many such protests, the drivers, using the taxi online application, are aggrieved that the company has not adjusted fares following the increment of fuel.
To the Minister of Transport and Logistics, but he has been quiet. We followed him. Tinaenda kwa office tapeleka maripoti taendako, but Minister of Transport bagamba kuti no, you can delete the app. Well, this the same app which you are saying we have to delete the app. They are feeding our families. So we are feeding our families from
yango takana programs yango takana yango alipe pamoto kwa Mzambia muno pamoto kwa Tanzania bene baki haya afu nikakashingi tikashinga matu 5 matu pini per week ambelaka yango government tax demo yango partner na ebe yango demo government demo takana.
The drivers have accused government through the Ministry of Transport and Logistics of paying a blind eye to their plight.
And the challenge that we have been now is like this guy, I think drivers, we need the YANGO company to increase the lease. Because if you look, the price of fuel, it's now 34 kwacha point something. So that is now 35. Then you are carrying someone, or about the 24, you've seen those 4 people, they will claim about 20 kwacha. Then that same 20 kwacha, you use the float and you need to buy bundles. Then you find that you are going just a short distance, it's 1.5. Then you are dead fact, maybe it's about 2.5 kilometers. Then if you can walk 2.5 going that side, you cover about 3.5 kilometers, then you're getting to 20.
As at broadcast time, the YANGO drivers had drove to the Ministry of Transport and Logistics to seek audience with the minister. Efforts to get a comment from the Ministry of Transport and Logistics proved futile, as both the phone of the minister and the communications department went unanswered. Mr. Tayali in January 2023 met the YANGO drivers following intensified protests to resolve their issues, but the meeting ended in disagreement. For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
Meanwhile, drivers operating from KULIMA Tower bus station say they will maintain the bus fares despite the fuel increment due to competition. KULIMA Tower bus station chairman Nicholas Banda says the station will maintain the fare chart for all routes. And Mr. Banda has appealed to government and the Energy Regulation Board to consider having quarterly fuel reviews as opposed to monthly reviews. Meanwhile, Austin Mwanza, a bus driver, is calling on the road traffic police to regulate buses operating outside the bus station premises. More in this report.
The Energy Regulation Board, January 31st, adjusted the fuel pump prices for the month of February 2024. ERB increased the price of fuel to 32 kwacha 15 ingwe from the 29 kwacha 96 ingwe for diesel and 34 kwacha 19 ingwe from 29 kwacha 98 ingwe for petrol per litre. Amidst the fuel increment, bus drivers at the KULIMA Tower bus station have maintained the previous fare charges due to competition. Speaking in an interview, bus station chairman Nicholas Banda says the fares at KULIMA Tower will be maintained but has called on the Energy Regulation Board to review the fuel pump price quarterly and not monthly as it affects businesses.
Although wanaikirako ise mkulima Tower stizaikira mutengo watu ni amela za ma hot fares. Simamene guys. So stizaikira muno mutengo ni ma hot fares. Then futi tipempako kuti wa government system yoikirako olo kuchoserako after 1 month olo kuikirako 1 month waireke at least ngavuna kuchoserako wa government wakachoserako after 6 months olo ngavuna kuikirako wakazika after 6 months chukwa business imaluvana.
And Jimmy Mwene, a bus driver, tells this journalist that the 1 kwacha increment for local routes is too little for a fare chart increment owing to the fact that stations compete with contravening buses who carry passengers at a cheaper cost, while another driver is calling on the road traffic police to regulate buses operating from outside the station to operate from a reasonable distance from the station.
Coin muloko. So kufaka coin said nayo wanamunga ati wakulimonga bakuli matawa. Utisapishe ma customers wake. Tinayo wanachati tisafagirekwa. Yes. Was there's too much contravening. Contravening. For example, like 10 miles. Anganyamule muntu wakati 10 kwacha, but the station is 18 kwacha. So tuwana tukafagirako futi. Contravening atengema wangatichi mfiba contravening.
Advise them because what tengera bantu just 100 meters from the station vaimilira batu bantu and vaimilira even pakati paroti.
Meanwhile, Patson Mwale, a Lima Tower bus station driver, has encouraged commuters to use the station as it is safer and secure for them.
Advantage yokwera mu station o passenger akasovesa katundu ayibara katundu imapezeka imaoneka timasunga pamaleta driver ngaisasa ezanyamula passenger then passenger ayibara katundu kumangala aleta kuli wa buku abwera katundu ipenza mazomanzo pa station pato wana siya bucket ka safu 3 days wanabwera wanaipeza safu. So ndi advantage mulodi ukakwelela mulodi ukaibala change suza mpeza kondaka ukaibala katundu sunga ipeza and then futi mulodi mapeza kati mapishana na polisi kokwera pacha ungazichite. So my customers bwerani mu station mukaskwera mu station.
Cherish Sibote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Teaching Service Commission member Clement Sinyinda has resigned from his position, citing President Hakainde Hichilema's sentiments that there is no country called Barotse land. Mr. Sinyinda says he found President Hichilema's January 18th sentiments as disrespectful to the Litunga and was hopeful that he would apologize, but to no avail. Speaking during a press conference in Lusaka Monday morning, Mr. Sinyinda says he has resigned from his position to go back to Western Province and be with his people. He has since cautioned people from commenting on the matter as it is a very sensitive issue.
And I quote, P.S. Acapella, there is no country called Western Province or Barosseland. End of quote. I had to ponder and wait to hear whether you would be remorseful enough to apologize to the Litunga, the Kuta, and indeed the people of Barosseland. But alas, I haven't heard anything to that effect. I consider this as being disrespectful to the Litunga, to the Kuta, and the people of Barosseland. As a result of this, I have today, the 5th of February 2024, decided to resign from your government as a commissioner from the Teaching Sales Commission and go back to my people and the country, Barosseland, with immediate effect. So kindly take this information, especially this piece of advice, to all the people of Zambia. Let us not comment anyhow on the issue of Barosseland. Why? Because it is sensitive.
Government has called on all Zambians, regardless of their political affiliation, to apply for empowerment schemes under the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. Speaking when she disbursed the CDF empowerment loans to 51 beneficiaries in Matero constituency, Lusaka District Commissioner Rosa Zulu reiterated the CDF is meant for every Zambian. Meanwhile, Matero Member of Parliament Miles Sampa advised the beneficiaries to use the funds prudently. More in the following report.
These are among the 51 latest beneficiaries of the loans under the 2023 Constituency Development Fund in Lima Ward 30 of Matero constituency. Matero Member of Parliament Miles Sampa and Lusaka District Commissioner Rosa Zulu handed over a check worth 3,227,495 kwacha under the 2023 allocation. Gracing the event, Lusaka District Commissioner Rosa Zulu called on all Zambians, regardless of their political affiliation, to actively participate in empowerment schemes under the Constituency Development Fund.
This government does not choose. As you have heard, Honorable Miles Sampa is PF. We shall put one side. The government which is giving money to this constituency so that the Honorable Member of Parliament can enrich the people is the UPND government, New Dawn government. Let us make use of the CDF. CDF, as the MP said, it does not choose who is receiving it, who is using. New Dawn.
Meanwhile, Matero Member of Parliament Miles Sampa advised the beneficiaries to use the funds prudently and for the intended purpose.
Mairo mwenda mkuzichosa. Manjoro muzazichosa ni kuchitira business ya mene mwa takupasa ni approve. Ukazisendesa mwina la mulo ni shupanya futi. Ndabasindira zanga sizako ndirama za boma. Bakutangiza kutuchite business. So make sure endelama mukashibo mfyefi ya mwachitira apply. Ababemba batira ati pakwaka n'obunga tapa bensoni. Abena chipata watu, that means pogawana unga oseka ponsoni. Meaning is in drama is choka ku UPND government. Oseka ponsoni orosindwa UPND nikutantama nifuna kwa drama. Pakuti drama ukazitenga kupasa business. Drama za mbogena mu account ushezi zakalangiza pane zinachokera tizinacho UPND.
Lima Ward 30 Councillor Daniel Mwerwa, who represented the beneficiaries, thanked the government for the gesture and disclosed that one of the beneficiaries is an ex-convict.
Among the 51, Madam Guest of Honor, the Honorable Member of Parliament made sure, together with his team, that one applicant who applied, who served in jail for many, many years, he applied to get a loan to do pottery.
as a committee, we thought, no, so he's actually among the 51, and he's earmarked to get 50,000 kwacha to venture into poultry.
Those who have benefited are short of words other than thank you to the government.
Let's apply for 100,000. Nichita therapy.
Mutungacha.
Na school uniforms na vitenge. Na vosia na sia na bambe.
Kamera muje meta mbere votenga vochita benefits pali vandrama. So at least china muntu ngamvera bwino shawama because shindurama shakwapo muntu wonse. Ndafuna ko tanisi wa muni bonds bamena afuna business whether you have to business.
Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
The Alliance for Community Action, SCA, says there is need for government to publish lists of beneficiaries of the schemes under the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. SCA Executive Director Laura Miti says even if the perception that corruption has reduced as reported by Transparency International Zambia, chances are still there that corruption may be happening. The Transparency International Zambia TIZ revealed that the country has improved its performance on the Corruption Perception Index score for the first time in 10 years, from 33 out of 100 progression in 2022 to 37 out of 100 in 2023.
That the TIZ report, which over the years has reported increase on corruption figures, is saying to us now that in 2023 they have reduced. I think that's a good thing. What I would say is that the perception, I think, of corruption seems to have reduced. If you see, it is the huge stories that we used to have seem to have reduced. You know, like it used to be almost every month, every year, you were dealing with a major one. It's difficult to say whether the people in power right now are as corrupt or as the ones before, but I think the difference is they're not as showy. So they don't display wealth as much as that used to happen. And I think that is a good thing. What is needed, though, is for this fight against corruption to be further concretized, so that money that gets lost, if you look at this year's Auditor General's report, you'll find that maybe the straight abuse of funds has gone down, but there are other things we should worry about. You know, like is it inflation of receipts? Is it misapplication of funds? Other kind of thing, which might not be straight theft. And for us at the ACA, we would also like government to tell us, for example, to prove to us that there is a real change. For example, who has accessed CDF projects? Just a list. You don't wait for us to ask.
3 former permanent secretaries in the Ministry of Health and 5 others have pleaded not guilty to the alleged offence of willful failure to comply with laid-down procedure in the procurement of 50 ambulances. This is the 4th time the accused have taken plea in the matter, following the reallocation of the case to Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chiwili. Magistrate Chiwili, in the last sitting, ordered the state to amend particulars in count 2, 3 and 4 to disclose the provisions of the law allegedly breached by the accused persons. Details in this report.
3 former permanent secretaries in the Ministry of Health have pleaded not guilty to the alleged offence of willful failure to comply with a laid-down procedure in the procurement of 50 ambulances. This is the 4th time the accused have taken plea after the matter was reallocated to Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chiwili, who in the previous sitting ordered the state to amend particulars of indictment on the counts 2, 3 and 4 in order to disclose the provisions of the law alleged to have been breached by the accused persons. The 3 former permanent secretaries are Dr. Kennedy Malama, Caroline Mulalelo and Dr. Jabin Mulwanda, who are jointly charged with Garden Asiakantu, a health administrator, Mzaza Ntele, Maximilian Weupe, Rebecca Njovu, and former Ministry of Health employee Wilson Lungu, according to the amended particulars of the offence, alleged to have been committed by the accused in count 1, allegations are that Gadena Siakantu, between January 1st, 2017 and 31st December 2017 in Lusaka, being a person whose function concerned the use of public revenue in the Ministry of Health, did willfully fail to comply with Section 41, subsection 2A of the Public Procurement Act No. 12 of 2008 as read together with Regulation 30 of the Public Procurement Regulations, Statutory Instrument No. 63 of 2011, in the manner he initiated the procurement of 50 ambulances for the Ministry of Health without following laid-down procedure. In the second count, allegations are that Dr. Malama, between August 1st and 31st December 2018, jointly and whilst acting together with other persons unknown, did willfully fail to comply with Section 22G as read with Section 22(2)B of the Public Procurement Act No. 12 of 2008 in the manner it terminated the contract between the Ministry of Health for the supply and delivery of 50 basic life support ambulances to the Ministry of Health without following laid-down procedure. In the third count, the former permanent secretary is jointly charged with Mzazantele, Rebecca Njovu, Maximilian Weupe, and Wilson Lungu, facing willful failure to comply with the law relating to the use of limited bidding in the manner they approved MPC Paper No. 131 of 2017 as an appropriate method of procurement for 50 ambulances. Other allegations are that Dr. Malama, Muzazantele, Rebecca Njovu, Maximilian Weupe, Wilson Lungu, Jabin Mulanda, and Caroline Mlalelo, between January 2017 and 31st December 2017 in Lusaka, willfully failed to comply with Section 50, subsection 2 and 3 of the Public Procurement Act No. 12 of 2008 relating to the awarding of contracts for the supply and delivery of 50 ambulances to Iveco South Africa Limited to the Ministry of Health without following laid-down procedure. Trial in this matter commences tomorrow. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Opposition Patriots for Economic Progress (PEP) leader Sean Tembo has failed to take plea in a matter he is facing 2 counts of using insulting language against Zambia's Republican President Hakainde Hichilema. This was after defense lawyer Norman Siwila contended that the indictment does not provide clear information for the accused to take plea. However, Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chibuli adjourned the matter to 21 February 2024 for the state to provide a response to the matter. A state witness from the Ministry of Finance and National Planning, Thomas Piri, 47, has told the Lusaka Magistrate Court that former Secretary to the Treasury Fred Sonyamba did not authorize the payment of $33 million for the construction of FTJ University as his tenure had expired. Testifying before Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chibuli, the witness said the payment was authorized by former Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Finance Mukuli Chikuba. In this matter, former Secretary to the Treasury Fred Onyamba is jointly charged with former Ministry of Higher Education Permanent Secretary Owen Mgemezulu and former Ministry of Education employees on charges of failure to comply with laid-down procedure. Details in this report.
Questions continue to linger on the citizens whether over $33 million meant for the designing and construction of Frederick Titus Jacob Chiluba University in northern and Luapula province was channeled to. A state witness has testified before the Lusaka Magistrate Court that former Secretary to the Treasury Fred Sonyamba did not authorize the payment of $33.75 million for the construction of FTJ University in Luapula as his tenure had expired. Thomas Piri, 47, a former chief accountant from the Ministry of Finance and National Planning, testified through 5 documents which included 3 memos and 2 foreign payment vouchers showing a down payment of $33.75 million in relation to the university in Luapula. Mr. Piri says the first memo was from the Assistant Director, Acting External Date, requesting the Accounts Department to facilitate the payments after the approval, and the 4th and the 5th document, a foreign payment voucher of a down payment worth $8 million each. However, during cross-examination, the state witness explained no payment was made in 2017. As such, former Secretary to the Treasury, Mukuli Chikuba, who also served as Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance and National Planning, authorized a fresh payment of $33.75 million for the university. The witness explains that It was after the authorization by Mr. Chikuba that the payment of $33.75 million for the construction of Frederick Titus Jacob Chuluba University in Northern and Lopula Province was made. In this matter, former Secretary to the Treasury, Fred Sonyamba, is jointly charged with former Ministry of Higher Education Permanent Secretary Owen Mgemezulu and former Ministry of Education employees Joseph Ntele, Joseph Piri, and Joseph Ngulube on charges of failure to comply with laid-down procedure. In count 1, it is alleged that Yamba between January 1st, 2017 and December 31st, 2017 willfully failed to comply with applicable law relating to the management of funds in authorizing an advance payment of $33,750,000 to China Energy Engineering Group, Yunnan Electric Power Design Institute Company Limited for the construction of FTJ Chuluba University under the Ministry of Higher Education. In the second count, allegations are that Mgemezulu, between the same dates being permanent secretary in the Ministry of Higher Education, willfully failed to comply with applicable law relating to procurement in entering into a contract with China Energy Engineering Group, Yunnan Electric Power Design Institute Company Limited. The contract was worth $225 million for the design and build of FTJ Chuluba University without subjecting the said contract to the Zambia Public Procurement Authority for approval. Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chibwidi has adjourned the matter to March 15th and 18th, 2024 for continued trial. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
This is Camnet Television Main News. We take our first break. Join us for more news after the break.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodland, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
It's a January back-to-school promotion bonanza at Darren. Take advantage of our massive price discounts and turn your wonderful school-going kids into stars. With a cornrows hairstyle going at only 30 kwacha for kids below 13 years and 50 kwacha for kids above 13 years, your child is guaranteed that neat and trusted, classy look. This curly, knotless hairstyle is going for as little as 150 kwacha from as high as 200 kwacha, wigs included. Now that's a classy saving. The sleek ponytail going at 80 kwacha from 120 kwacha makes your little one look like a true princess. Gift your pretty one with this lovely natural twist for as low as 60 kwacha from 100 kwacha, beads included. Now that's a cute saving. Your princess will look stunning in this curly ponytail at only 90 kwacha from the original 110 kwacha. Now that is a great deal. You will find us along Mosi Road, 4th Close, on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post in Ibex Hill, Lusaka. We are open from 0720 to 17 hours, 7 days a week. Call us for appointment bookings on 0772 870588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049213. Darren B, a touch of class.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. The Zambia Congress of Trade Unions, ZCTU, has urged employers who have not yet concluded the bargaining process to expedite the process. ZCTU President Blake Mulala says the Congress will not condone situations where more time is spent on the process, as this may cause industrial unrest in the country. Meanwhile, Mr. Mulala says has called on the Ministry of Labour to extend inspections to media houses.
We want to call on the Ministry of Labour through the Labour Commissioner to extend the inspection to media houses, because we have received time and again many reports that media houses are not properly paid their salaries. They are still getting low, some of them below the minimum wages, and they work through difficult conditions. So as a Congress, we are going to make sure that all media houses in the country, both public or private, they must be inspected, because they are all workers and they must also enjoy better working conditions. In the same vein, we want to appeal to employers who have unfinished business with the labor unions in terms of bargaining, the bargaining process. If they haven't yet started, we want to urge them to start now, because we have given them a deadline. By the end of the first quarter, all matters to do with the labor-related issues, bargaining process must be complete. We are not going to allow issues like where we are coming from in the past, where most of the time we're spending on the bargaining process issues. Remember, a bargaining process, if it's not complete, is a source of industrial unrest in the country.
Western Province Permanent Secretary Simomo Akapelwa has called for evidence-based strategies in the fight against cancer. Mr. Akapelwa observes that half of cancer cases could be prevented by encouraging healthy lifestyles. He said this during the World Cancer Day celebration in Mongo. More in the following report.
Today, Western Province joined the rest of the world in commemorating World Cancer Day, which falls on the 5th of February. This year's theme is United to Close the Cancer Gap. During the official ceremony, Western Province Permanent Secretary Simomo Akapelwa emphasized that the government is fully aware of the challenges related to cancer care and has made cancer prevention and control a top priority.
Zambia has continued to show leadership in the area of cervical cancer prevention and has now adopted the World Health Organization Cervical Cancer Elimination Initiative, and the program from now on will be called the Cervical Cancer Elimination Program of Zambia. Furthermore, government has started the construction of a specialized cancer business hospital in Ndola, Upper Province, which is expected to be completed by June this year to service the northern region. Livingstone is earmarked for the...
Dr. Loveday Mwila is currently serving as the acting health director of Western Province.
The campaign Close the Gap is built to inspire the change in people so that they seek cancer screening services and also mobilize the leadership, civic leaders, traditional leaders, the clergy and the political leaders to rally with us as we try to close the gap in the cancer care. The theme for this year is a call to put our voices together to close the cancer care gap. Indeed, together we can make real progress in reducing the impact of cancer in our communities, our province and the nation at large.
Inonge Mwiya, a cancer survivor, aided women across the country to undergo rigorous screenings.
Spatera kintu ya butokwa mwalika kaofera miaruka sutera na basali kulwita tubise aya mukaita tubise sali kabunako iska ya ndruka kali bakakona kumiara fera na fafali wanika amunako ngakolo ya pia kwa rusaka kutuko ubonana kuli batu babu saba kono musike ma saba kibutuko bofora aluitahanira nikulate ya likalafo nikulate ya zebalo ya ma doctors kaofera.
Early detection and access to appropriate treatment play a crucial role in improving survival rates and reduce the burden of this disease. For Camnet News, Musiaba Kabila in Mongo District, Western Province.
Senior members from the opposition Patriotic Front Party in Kalomo District of Southern Province have ditched the opposition party to join the ruling UPND. Those who have defected include Kalomo PF District Chair Lady Mutelo Mukawilika and her counterpart James Chibanga. The defectors were received by UPND Provincial Trustee Beauty Musokotwane during a meeting in Monde Village. And UPND member Akta Maunga urged party members to welcome the defectors from the opposition with open arms. He emphasized the importance of increasing the numbers of members in UPND by attracting new individuals. And the defectors cited the government's successful delivery of promises as the reason why they decided to join the UPND.
Cash transfer, university. Grade 1 up to nini kuna mo uniform. Kuli komene mungula baba bari. Kuli lumu na wina kondo. Amezio shaga homezia shali bonya. Bamwe batali kuyisha bana ibana bayiya. Tuli hebuti bulumba chintu drama ningi toba tutwashupa. Enotwa omba nobe nsoma nomajala katulibyo tobyo awa lotwa wa idane yi babola buchitu soyi minine tulijigamu babanu nabajibanga munkamwinya gayinkaya mana te bamunu namuga piriga munkamwinya gamana iraga inkate eno mulati zino zirongo amu batambula amanzi obire te wanoli lungu lwayanga twagula te wanatumulumbe mawunga iwawunga guopati lilyapa kuti aba bantu batujoine.
We'll take our second and final break. We'll be back with international sports news after the break.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. And now in international news, the African Union AU says it was concerned at the decision to postpone Senegal's presidential election. In a statement, the AU Commission Chairman Moussa Faki Mahamat called on Senegal's government to hold the exercise as possible in transparency, peace and national harmony. President Macky Sall on Saturday announced the exercise planned for February 25 would be deferred following a dispute over the candidate list. The cancellation of the vote has elicited uproar from the opposition, which has accused Sall of seeking to extend his mandate indefinitely. Here's a roundup of international news for more.
The African Union said Sunday it was concerned at the decision to postpone Senegal's presidential election. In a statement, the AU Commission Chairman Moussa Faki Mahamat called on Senegal's government to hold the exercise as soon as possible. President Macky Sall on Saturday announced the exercise, planned for February 25th, would be deferred following a dispute over the candidate list. This is on President Macky Sall, and it's upsetting because he almost left with his head held high. But now, unfortunately, he's showing his true face. The masks are falling off. He's trying to pull off an electoral hold-up. What's that? It's a constitutional coup, and we won't accept it. On Monday, lawmakers were due to consider the postponement of the election for up to 6 months. The African Union has appealed for dialogue. Egypt's Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry on Sunday held talks with his French counterpart in the new administrative capital. In a news conference after the meeting, Shoukry warned that a wider conflict could engulf the region if a ceasefire was not reached in Gaza. The danger of the expansion of conflict in the Middle East from the war in Gaza, the threats we're seeing towards the navigation in the Red Sea, the military operations that took place in Syria and Iraq, as well as the military situation on the Israeli-Lebanese borders, all warns from the escalation of the situation and slipping towards a wider conflict. That is what we're striving to avoid by calling for a ceasefire in Gaza and dealing with issues in a comprehensive political way. Last week, Hamas's political leaders said the group was studying a 3-phase proposal for a truce in Gaza prepared by France. The visit to Cairo is the French foreign minister's first to the Middle East.
It began with what people describe as a sudden downpour of cinders driven by fierce winds. In just minutes, they turned these homes into an inferno. Roxana Mesa tells us everyone on her street is pitching in to clear the rubble, the only thing left of their possessions except for the clothes on their back.
We ran for our lives, helping our elderly neighbors. We all helped, but 3 neighbors died. The heat and the flames were unbearable.
These are the deadliest wildfires in the history of Chile, a country already familiar with natural disasters. Hundreds remain missing, presumed dead. Firefighters continue working day and night to control the fires in the densely populated Valparaiso region. Brigade Chief Josue Jaime, who's been fighting fires for 40 years, says he's convinced they were started deliberately.
They started simultaneously at exactly the same hour in 6 different places when the winds were extremely strong, humidity very low, and the temperatures high, but not enough to ignite a fire on its own. This was no accident.
The government appears to agree and vows to find and punish the culprits. What might have taken minutes to light could take weeks to extinguish. This may look like a very small fire right now, but this is a pine tree or what's left of it. And the real significant thing is what's underneath, and that is the roots of the tree. They're very deep. They go all the way down here, all the way up there. So when you think you've put out the fire, it can ignite at any moment unless the firefighters keep coming back and back again to try to extinguish it. Nestor Mancia lost everything, his car, his home, and his livelihood, an enormous greenhouse for growing and selling exotic plants. Luckily, he was away when it all went up in smoke, unlike his dog, Napoleon, who survived, but just barely.
There had been fires before, up in the hills, but this time homes were lost, and I've been living here 30 years.
Neighboring countries are offering help, which Chile will need, as reports emerge of new wildfires further south.
And now in sports news, the Football Association of Zambia, FAZ, has appointed former FIFA referee DERRICK KAFULI as acting referee's manager. KAFULI's appointment comes in the wake of the suspension of Asif Banda. FAS General Secretary Ruben Kamanga says KAFULI had emerged as the ideal candidate given the delicate process of restoring the integrity of the refereeing space in the game. Meanwhile, Kamanga says FAS has taken note of the reported boycotts of matches in 3 provinces arising from various grievances by referees. FAS has appealed to referees that have boycotted matches to return to the pitch while their issues were being addressed. Kamanga says FAS was expediting the process that will see more referees recruited to meet the growing demand from across the country. And still in sports news, Egypt has sacked its head coach after its hopes of a record-extending 8th Africa Cup of Nations triumph were dashed last week. The country's football federation on Sunday said Portuguese manager Rui Vitória had been dismissed. Egypt struggled throughout the tournament, failing to win a game before exiting at the last 16 stage. An early injury to captain Mohamed Salah also hampered their play. They were knocked out of the competition in a dramatic 8-7 penalty shootout defeat against the Democratic Republic of Congo. Vitória had been due to coach the team through to the 2026 World Cup. Mohamed Youssef, a former Al Ahly coach, has been appointed as interim manager.
Egypt has sacked its head coach after its hopes of a record-extending 8th Africa Cup of Nations triumph were dashed last week. The country's football federation on Sunday said Portuguese manager Rui Vitória had been dismissed. Egypt struggled throughout the tournament, failing to win a game before exiting at the last 16 stage. An early injury to captain Mohamed Salah also hampered their play. They were knocked out of the competition in a dramatic 8-7 penalty shootout defeat against the Democratic Republic of Congo. Vitória had been due to coach the team through to the 2026 World Cup. Mohamed Youssef, a former Al Ahly coach, has been appointed as interim manager.
To end the news on Camnet television, the top stories once again. KULIMA Tower bus drivers to maintain old bus fares amidst fuel price increase. ZCTU urges employers to expedite the bargaining process. YANGO drivers protest over poor conditions of service. In international news, AU concerned with events in Senegal and wants elections held. And the sports news, FAS appoints DERRICK KAFULI as acting referees manager. Our Camnet verse of the day is coming from the book of Deuteronomy 4 verse 29. But from there you will seek the Lord your God, and you will find him, if you search after him with all your heart and with all your soul. My name is Jeffrey Zambo, and thanks for watching Camnet Television News. Bye-bye.